Dogman, on the way to worship. Dear Scary Stories NYC, I've got a Dogman story for you that involves one of the creatures trying to prevent my wife and daughter from attending church on Sunday. I don't know if he was doing it to try to catch and eat them for food, or if he was just doing it to be evil. It certainly seems that there are a lot of people who do things for no other reason except to be evil lately, so it shouldn't surprise me if animals began behaving in this way as well. As you have requested, I have separated the ending of the story out, as it is somewhat violent. You can use that one for a members-only show, I don't care. As long as you stick to my facts and keep this all anonymous, I'm fine with the rest of your choices. So I'm about to tell you a story about the Pennsylvania Dogman, but I have to first get through this other nastiness, which is the reason our parish shut down and we moved. Some of the rest of the congregation told me they were done with being publicly religious, as it only drew harassment from those violent gangs. What are they called again? The fascist antis? Something like that? They called us terrible things. And now there is no more church in that old area. Now the only thing left considered divine in that part of the country is the government. Gee, I wonder who that benefits. You can think on that particular question for yourself while I tell you this little tale. So one Sunday, my wife and daughter came back from church very distraught, saying they had been chased home by bullies who insulted them because of their religious faith. My daughter was bawling, saying the people told them that our family isn't wanted and that we should move out while we still could. When I think of the men and women who fought and died for generations to preserve religious liberty in the United States, and then I see these bullies working hard to end any kind of freedom at all, using violence and cowardly tactics, the same as bullies usually use, well, it gets my blood boiling. So that week, I traded shifts with someone else at my job to free the early half of Sunday. That allowed me the time to walk my family to and from church and see to it that they were not harassed as they exercised their First Amendment right to freedom of religion. Only on that particular morning, the harassment came from an entirely non-human sort of a bully. That was the first morning that our family saw the Dogman. I decided that I would walk my family through the woods, taking a shortcut known to very few of the locals. I was hoping that since those bullies that were bothering us seemed to be bussing in from out of town, that they might not know about our locals' secret shortcuts. We didn't encounter any human bullies that morning, but we did come across a two-legged, upright version of Old Black Shuck from the ancient British legend. The original Shuck was said to have shown up in a church during a wild thunderstorm, running up and down the aisles of the church on his four legs, leaving parishioners dead in his canine wake. In the darkness ahead of us, we saw two glowing eyes, each of them placed well taller than my head, and I was the tallest of my family. I knew it was an animal, since humans don't have eyes shine like that. But I hoped it might just be a small owl up on a branch, not a bipedal creature standing literally 7 feet tall, or taller. I kept hoping I'd see it flap its wings and fly away, but the eyes remained where they were, and I could increasingly see, as my eyes adjusted to the light, that where they were was on top of two very broad and human-like shoulders. Bigfoot, whispered my wife, and it was the exact same thing I was thinking too. But that made no sense, since we both knew that we were there looking at the Pennsylvania Dogman. We knew we were seeing a bipedal werewolf, so why did both of us think of Bigfoot when the werewolf stood there looking at us? Maybe it was just the size of the thing. which was way taller than any human I'd ever seen. Like in the movies. I don't remember any basketball player-sized wolfmen. Do you? They usually seem to be the same size as most of the other men in those films. This one was big, huge, immense. It was not like any ordinary guy running around on his tiptoes. He looked like some kind of a dog or a wolf hybrid that had been bred to walk upright, as naturally as human beings do it. He looked to me like an elite super soldier deep undercover, or else he looked to me like some guy afflicted with lycanthropy and gigantism at the same time. It was really scary being so close to that out of control, clearly frightened predator. And while this was happening, I remember being gripped by a bizarre and all-encompassing sense of sadness as I watched my life play out in front of me, in between the live action happening in that moment. Every single time I made a decision in my life that I later regretted or questioned, I was cringing through a replay of that moment, sometimes presented from multiple angles somehow. Every decision seemed like a complete failure to me then, because they had all led to me and my family facing this flailing wild man-beast. I grabbed both members of my family by the hand, and we tore off the path into the woods themselves. I knew that cement sidewalks and suburban streets were on the other side of those trees, and I was gambling that the Dogman wasn't willing to follow us out there into suburbia. Well, he wasn't. Not then, anyway. In fact, I'm not sure how far he even followed us. We did not see him again that day. The next Sunday, we organized the neighbors with the larger vehicles to make the rounds and pick everybody up to bring them to church. Meanwhile, me and some of the other dads went into those dark woods that morning. And this is where the story got very violent. Hey everybody, Bigfoot here. This is where we need to cut it off, but we do have a conclusion for our channel members and our PayPal Club members. It should hopefully be up right now, so PayPal Club members, check your emails for the URL, and channel members, check your notification page. If you aren't a channel member yet, we give you 4 secret Dogman stories a month that nobody else gets to hear. Oh, and we all owe a debt of thanks to today's executive producer, Valerie Gomez, aka Nicole Gomez, who I think was also executive producer of our last episode too. Valerie became a channel member again last time and has donated to us using our super thanks button located under this and all of our videos this time. It's the YouTube equivalent of our paypal.me/PeterBernard209 direct donation link. Some people refuse to use this or that. I can understand. I might branch out to 1 or 2 more ways to donate. I just don't want to get too confusing. But now it's time for a guy who always keeps it simple, and that would be our international TV spokesmongrel, Henry Lee Dogman. Thanks, Biggie, and thanks to all of you for watching this far. If you liked it, please click like. If you'd like to see more of our work, please subscribe. And also click that bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we put out a new episode. To become an executive producer, you can donate to us through the thanks button under each of our videos or through our paypal.me/PeterBernard209 page. To receive cool perks like secret uncensored Dogman episodes far too wild to ever run on this channel, you can become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button. Or join our PayPal subscribers club at peterbernard.com. Joining either at the $3 a month level or above gets you access to our over 25 hours of secret uncensored Dogman stories available nowhere else. Do you have a scary story about Dogman or some other kind of high strangeness that happened to you? Let us know by emailing us at scarystoriesnyc@gmail.com or by leaving us a voicemail message at 804-LA-SCARY. You may need to call back on that one. It cuts off after I think 3 minutes. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff, thank you for simply watching to the end. Good night, and have a scary tomorrow.
some more scary stories.